Alright, so the next thing we want to do is make the floor that runs around the edge of this. What it's going to do is it's going to take whatever level 1 is, place that outline of the floor we're going to give it on that, and then extrude the floor down. Now a floor is a system family, so it only exists within a project or project template, and you can't make a floor type or floor family outside of the project. It's similar for walls and roofs and stairs and many other options within Revit. So I'm going to take a look at a couple of details before we do that. The first one is this detail right here. This is the plate that the columns rest on. The columns are 4 by 4 wide flanges, so 4 inches by 4 inches, but this is the plate. So you have a 10-inch square concrete stem wall that this plate is sitting on. You can see it here. And then the plate itself is 8 inches square. Now if a 4 by 4 goes in here, then you subtract 2 inches from 5 inches and you get a 3-inch offset, right? So the edge of the slab, the column's going to be 3 inches offset based on this. So we're just going to go with that for this particular exercise. Alright, so I'm going to minimize. Now we've drawn these, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. We've drawn these grids in so we can use those to make our floors with. So if you go to architecture and you go to floor, there's a pull down. And you can do an architectural floor or a structural floor. The architectural floor, if you're not a structural engineer, is fine, and the structural engineer can come in and put his own floor in. If you would like to do a structural floor, you can. You have the same options. It just enables the structural parts of it. So I'm going to do a floor architectural for right now. And it has a floor bridge in here. I'm going to go to the pull down. And you see you have multiple different types of floors in here. Okay, you can start off with just a generic 12-inch floor. So just left click on that. And then what we're going to do is we are going to draw a line that represents the boundary of our floor. Okay. And you'll notice once you click that, it gives you an option for offset. Alright, so you see that offset. Alright, so I have line, again I have line selected, and we want to set that offset to 3 inches. So we know that we want our offset from these grid lines to be 3 inches, and we want to make sure that chain is selected as well. And then what you want to do is you can start at really any intersection of the floor. Is I want to come in and select at an intersection of those grid lines. So I'm selecting there, and you see how it's drawing already with an offset for me right there. So I can just zoom out and go in and get the intersection of those and just make an outline around here. Alright. Intersection there. Intersection there. And just go ahead and finish that out. Okay, and then once you've gotten to that point, you still have a little open area there. You can come to your trim extend to corner under modify and just pick there, and it'll finish it off, and you should have an outline of a floor with a 3-inch offset. Alright, so once you do that, one thing to note is that there's a span orientation, so it's saying that the deck is spanning in this direction, which it may or may not be. I'm not sure. It could span in this direction, it could span in that direction, but we're just going to leave that span the way that it is. And then I'm going to come over here and big green check, and it's going to put that floor in. So let's take a look and see if that floor is in there. So to do that, you have multiple options. Probably the easiest way is to zoom out, and you see this section cut that runs through. There's a blue head at the top of that, and if you double click on that, it will take you immediately into that section, and you can come in and see that in fact there is that floor, and there it is in the background, right? So it has placed that floor in there for us, and it's 12 inches deep. Okay, so that's what we're going to do for this installment. I'm going to go back to my level 1 plan. The next thing we're going to do is we are going to update the floor to a different type and create our own floor. All right.